Okay.
I always thought I looked unique.
Right there, that's it.
Long locks, brown eyes, caramel complected, noticeably bow-legged, 6 feet. Okay. Maybe it's closer to 5'10" when I'm not wearing Timbs, but then I speak. Master 2 languages, English and Ebonics, because even though I graduated from college, I learned like lessons in the streets. And lesson 1 was apparently there are an awful lot of criminals that look like me. I mean, at first I didn't want to believe it, but then I figured it had to be. I mean, otherwise, why when I ride down the road at night, I end up being pulled over on this side, putting out my license for the officer to see? I mean, obviously, it's because I fit the description. And the officers will get this in some secret lawman encryption, because when I ask him exactly what is the description, the answer is something that never seems to get mentioned. So between me and the officer, there's growing tension. Because surely his reason was legitimate for pulling me over. Taking my license and registration, using the CB on his shoulder. And the more time that passed, the more questions he asked, so I started to get bolder. Son, where are you coming from? Where are you headed? So I started to get bolder. And when I asked him why it is that he really pulled me over, he looks back at me as if to say, I already told you, you fit the description. Y'all listen, I drive a Cadillac Escalade, black, sitting on 22s. And what's crazy to me is amazing to see that apparently a lot of criminals drive Escalades too. I mean, it's true. Because it never fails that when I'm driving down the street, I end up hearing siren wells and seeing flashing shades of blue. And when I get pulled over, the officer trying to convince me that the reason I got stopped was not because I was DWB, but because I was, quote, sitting in a parking lot by myself where there are no drug deals to occur. So he says, sir, that is the reason why I stopped. So I paused. Play back the entire scenario in my rear view before letting the conversation to continue. So let me get this straight. I was sitting in my car at 11 o'clock at night. Never got out, not another car in sight. After 10 minutes, drive 50 feet, turn right, and because of those actions, you figure I might be selling narcotics. Or is it that you see somebody in a black SUV that looks like me, and you figure because of those reasons, you need to stop it? Checking my person and the vehicle for any visible flaws, because then you know you'll have probable cause. So you'd be surprised how much black folks know both the codes and the laws. So he hands my license, gives me a warning, and lets me go. And his reaction to my action lets me know the real reason he had me pulled over for is because I fit the description. And this puts me in a very contradictory position. Because I don't want y'all to think that I'm bitter, because I'm not. And I don't want you to get the wrong idea because my brother's a cop. And he talked me about how he thought was a normal traffic stop, almost ended up with him being fatally shot. So I understand the other side, and I get the concern. When there's trouble in the city, that's one of the places we turn, but I've also learned that all motorists aren't treated the same. See, some of us need to be extra careful to stay in our lane. Make sure we wear our seatbelt and use our signals when we change, because apparently the signal has a very broad range. But here's what's insane. I often had some of my black friends tell me that since that vehicle gets so much attention, that I should just get rid of it. Drive something less flashy. Or if you ask me, I refuse to change how I look or what I drive for somebody else's benefit. Because I live in Atlanta. And I see 60-year-old white dudes driving Cadillacs sitting on chrome. And I guarantee you that they are not asking for the police to leave them alone. But because my locks are long, and because my skin is of a different shade, they know my acts are going to have a lot more attention paid. Because somehow, when you look like me, it becomes a whole lot more difficult to tell the difference between a person and a perpetrator, a suspect and a civilian. And I know that as far as black folks go, this is going to happen to us sooner or later. And some of us are saying that as far as issues go, that this is a non-issue. Well, let me tell you, that shit gets a whole lot easier to say, but it isn't you. What if it's true? So let me put it in perspective for you. What if I said that every cop was a racist, and I used the color of his skin as his only basis? You would think that my actions are both unfair and tasteless, but I will put them on trial and I'm going to tell you what my case is. See, they're part of a group that has racists within them. And you look back, it's been that way since the beginning. Have exhibited racist tendencies towards black women and children. So you let me know, is that enough to convict them? Because I'm living in a society where I don't trust the system. And I'm living in a society where I feel like I am the victim. So I know I shouldn't take one cop to simply depict them. So I'm not going to say that dude was racist. I'm just going to say the motherfucker fit the description.